Hey everyone, and welcome to another explainer. Listen, today we're delivering a serious, tough love wake-up call about the actual, real-life barriers to your success. We're tackling a pretty fiery topic today. Your excuses are keeping you poor. We're going to break down exactly what's holding you back and honestly, more importantly, how you can finally break free. So let's just dive right in and confront the uncomfortable truth here. Look, society might stack the deck against you, for sure, but your own rationalizations, they are the absolute anchor holding you down. Excuses will keep you stuck in a rut. If you actually want to change your trajectory, we first have to understand the traps that are laid out for us, both the external ones and the internal ones. To do that, we gotta acknowledge the problem first. So, Section 1, the system is a trap.
Think about it like this. Every human being arrives inside a pre-existing operating system. We're essentially born into this literal matrix of education, culture, tradition, and media. And the output of all that heavy programming? Fear, consume, obey. It's a massive machine that is literally designed to make you say, bye, and just do exactly as society tells you.
And what's the ultimate tool running that system? Money. It's this invisible controller manipulating the masses. It's kind of like strings on a puppet. If you don't control your money, it absolutely unequivocally controls you. But here is where we need to pivot from those external societal traps to the internal ones. Section 2, your habits keep you poor. Look, it's really easy to blame the system, right? But actually, it's not just the system. Your habits are keeping you poor. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the choices you're making with your time, your energy, and your resources every single day. Just look at this stark contrast between two very different paths. On one side, you have the blueprint for staying poor. Mindless distraction, endlessly staring at screens, gaming, just kind of sleeping the day away. And on the other side, you've got the fierce, unyielding discipline of a samurai. The mindset of, I choose to live by choice, not by chance. To be motivated, not manipulated. It's a conscious, daily rejection of the easy path. So the crucial point here is that beating those bad habits requires tangible reality, not just hype and motivation. Like tracking exactly where your money goes. If you can cut your entertainment budget from $100 down to 87 and dial back eating out from $80 to 64, suddenly you can actually put an extra $283 into savings. You do that instead of making excuses about having zero left over at the end of the month. Because if you don't take charge of your habits and your budget, you fall into a terrible trap. You end up just spectating. You literally stay broke while sitting on the sidelines, watching other people build their empires and win. You're trading your own active participation in life for just passive consumption. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, excuses yield zero results. The blunt reality is simply this. Your excuses are creative, but your results are not. I mean, you might have the most poetic, complex, dramatically woven reasons in the world for why you haven't started that business or why you haven't stuck to your budget. But guess what? The math in your bank account doesn't care about poetry. Zero is still zero. I really want this to sink in for a second. Your excuses are expired. Trash them. Seriously, stop carrying around these old narratives about why you can't succeed and just take out the mental garbage once and for all. And this builds directly into a harsh but totally necessary reality. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. If you want momentum in your life, you literally have to be the one to generate the force. Okay, so let's move to the solution. Section 4, reprogramming your mindset. The roadmap out of this trap starts right up here with your internal dialogue. Whatever you feed your mind will absolutely become your reality. When you tell yourself, I'm worthless, you're quite literally putting yourself on your hands and knees mentally. You only rise up and walk with purpose when you stop feeding yourself that negativity and demand excellence. When you actually declare, I am the best. Now, as you rise up, you gotta pay attention to who you surround yourself with. Real assistance gives strength, not crutches. You wanna seek out knowledge, mentors, and networks that arm you with swords and shields for the battle ahead, rather than just handing you crutches that keep you limping along in a state of dependency. To keep that armor strong, here's a daily checklist for breaking that poor mindset. These 7 rules of life are basically foundational. Smiling, being kind, not giving up. But especially these. You have to stop comparing your journey to others. You must avoid negativity. Make peace with your past so you can actually be present. And fiercely, And I mean fiercely protect your physical and mental health. And hey, remember, reprogramming your life takes time. While everyone else is frantically sprinting up the hill toward fame, riches, and power, it is perfectly okay to move at your own pace. Late doesn't mean lost. Don't use the excuse that you're somehow behind everyone else in life. Just run your own race.
All right, now that we've crushed the excuses, we need to completely redefine what it is we're actually working toward. Section 5, defining true wealth.
Because true wealth isn't just about becoming a master money controller. It's about walking away from the endless gray line of conformity. Your time on earth is limited, so satisfy your soul, not society. Wealth is really about having the courage to just walk away from the herd. It's also about a deep recognition of your resources. What you might see as worthless, somebody else might find to be incredibly valuable. The ultimate flex isn't washing a luxury sports car with fresh water while oblivious to the world around you. It's recognizing that the very things you take for granted are what others are desperately thirsting for. True wealth requires perspective. Which leads us to the absolute pinnacle of the wealth mindset. When you get blessed financially, don't just raise your standard of living, raise your standard of giving. This is exactly where breaking your own excuses translates into world-changing impact. The ultimate goal of stripping away your excuses, of budgeting tightly, and working relentlessly isn't just about personal enrichment. It's about acquiring the strength to reach down and pull someone else up the hill. Help others, even when you know for a fact they can't help you back. That is the true return on investment for your hard work. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to spark some active self-reflection today. Are you going to keep letting your excuses be more creative than your actual results? Or are you ready to trash them, reprogram your mindset, and finally build true wealth? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you on the next one.